I tried. I know I did. I tried. I tried to tell y'all. Y'all ain't want to listen. Y'all didn't want to listen. I tried to tell y'all how dysfunctional this organization is. I tried to tell y'all. Y'all ain't want to listen. Y'all ain't want to believe me. I tried to tell y'all how dysfunctional this organization is. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about the Houston Texans coaching update and how absurd it's getting. Like the search for a new head coach, how absurd it's getting. Because it really is. It's very much absurd. Like it's getting ridiculous. No, like square business, like serious talk. No, all jokes aside, it's getting worse by the day. The process that they're going by it's getting worse, and the decisions that they're making are getting worse by the day. We're gonna break it down. But before we do that, like I've been saying on the last couple of videos, the goal is to reach 5K, 5,000 subscribers. We reach 5K, I'm doing a special giveaway. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it, but the only way to be a part of it is to get the channel up to 5K, 5,000 subscribers. You gotta get it up there. That's the only way to get a part of it. That's the only way. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it. So share, like, share, subscribe, share on all social media platforms. I don't care if it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever it is you do, share on all those social media platforms and look at the channel up to 5K. Speaking of social media, follow your boy on social media. Follow your boy. The link's in the description below. Also, we're giving away 30 days free for Amazon Prime. If you sign up to Amazon Prime, you get 30 days free. So the links, all the links in the description. So go ahead, hit them links, get the channel up to 5K, and let's get it going. Now, let's talk about these old Houston Texans, because I know a lot of people out there, every time I bring up how the Texans are the most dysfunctional franchise in football, what about the Cleveland Browns? What about the Detroit Lions? What about the Jacksonville Jaguars? And like I've been telling y'all, y'all confusing wins and losses with dysfunction, because none of those teams do what the Houston Texans do from a dysfunctional standpoint from the front office. And when you sit up here, like now, the three top candidates right now that's going around is Jonathan Gannon, the DC from Philadelphia, who's been a defensive back coach for a couple of years, and this is the first year as a DC of Philadelphia Eagles. We've been talking about Kevin O'Connell, who's been offensive coordinator for the past couple of years with the Rams. Also has some ties being offensive coordinator with Washington, former NFL quarterback, things like that. But the leader in the clubhouse, reportedly, is Josh McCown, who has zero coaching experience, NFL or college level. I mean, from being a quality control guy, a quarterbacks coach, an offensive coordinator, anybody, nothing, has zero type of experience. I think his only experience, he was helped out with his son's high school team. That's it. That's the only experience he has from a coaching standpoint. Why? And to be honest, they gotta take it seriously, because it's the second time the Texans have interviewed. Now I know they called Jonathan Gannon for a second official interview this year, but they already interviewed Josh McCown last year. And I know reports is he came out there and said it was really more a discussion, not really a talk, or not really an interview for the head coach. It was more so a discussion with the organization is that. That's bull. Whatever. They called him back this time, and this time definitely is an interview. It definitely is. The team themselves reported it as such. The teams post on Snapchat, on Instagram and on Twitter, officially, they interview Josh McCown for the head coaching position. Now, you got some people out there, well, maybe, they're really using the head coaching process to actually interview guys for other positions, like how Hines Ward, maybe something from a front office standpoint, maybe something from a receivers coach, maybe Josh McCown, offensive coordinator, maybe him a quarterbacks coach. I call bull on that. I think they really consider him to be a head coach, mostly because of Jack Easterby. I think they really is. And even if that is the case, even if they are trying to interview him for other position outside of a head coach, that's even worse. Reason why are you wasting time when you're supposed to be interviewing potential head coaches when you got people like Byron Leftwich, D'Amico Ryans, Eberflus from Indianapolis, Eric Bieniemy, Ty Bowles, even Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn. These other guys is out there. I'm not even saying I want some of these guys outside maybe Byron Leftwich. D'Amico Ryans, I definitely would take. I've been talking about Byron Leftwich for a while. Obviously, Eric Bieniemy. But those guys I'm naming are actually legitimate coaching candidates. Even the guys I just named previously, and the Kevin O'Connells and the Jonathan Gannons, those are guys who've been coordinators and are coordinators, have been coaching in the NFL for the past couple of years. Josh McCown has zero coaching experience. If you want to be honest, David Culley has more coaching experience than Josh McCown. At least David Culley been coaching for 40 years. Like Josh McCown has zero coaching experience, and you're going to give him a head coaching job? So for one, you're wasting time. You didn't interview none of those other guys that I named. So if you're not interviewing those guys, why are you wasting time interviewing a Josh McCown and a Hines Ward for other positions outside of head coaching? Not to mention, if you're interviewing other positions, offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, coach, receivers, coach, whatever, what you're telling me is whoever you decide to hire as a head coach ain't going to hire their own damn staff. Which basically brings you back full circle to what you just passed. You had David Culley, another damn puppet. Absurd. Again, they're getting worse and worse. What other organization does this? Like, tell me another organization that actually does this, where the general manager wants to be the head coach. He wants to be the head coach and general manager. He is the Jerry Jones of general managers. Just point blank. He wants to be the head coach while being the head coach. That's exactly. He wants to go in there and call plays and call timeouts. And who knows? Maybe they go after. Maybe they really do hire Jonathan Gannon but Nick Caserio hires his offensive staff and they let Jonathan Gannon run the defense while Nick Caserio basically runs the damn offense. Again, Jerry Jones being the general manager. That's what you have. That's exactly what you have. Again, absurd, dysfunctional. The NFL's been around for over 100 years. Name another franchise that's done this. I'll wait. Name another NFL franchise that their general manager also wants to be the head coach. And I'm not talking about a head coach who's a general manager like a Bill Parcells or Andy Reid or Bill Belichick, who's a head coach and does general manager duties. I'm talking about a guy in the front office, a general manager that goes out and wants to be a head coach. Oh, he listened to tape and he helped call timeouts and listen to plays when he was in New England. I don't give a rat's ass. I really don't. This is a recipe for disaster. It's not going to work. It ain't never worked before. Why we expect for it to work now? It ain't never worked before because ain't nobody ever tried. Nobody been stupid enough to try it. But now these Houston Texans they going to do it. They going to try some shit. They going to try. Like, come on, man. Like, let's be real. Just like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. Why are y'all doing this? Like, seriously. Why? Why are y'all doing this? Why is this? Why my franchise has to be the franchise that goes about doing this? Like, why? It doesn't make any type of sense. It doesn't make any type of sense. Now, for instance, if we do go after, because I said it's the second time interview for Jonathan Gannon. He's been defensive back coach for the Indianapolis Colts. I think it was a defensive back coach in Tennessee or a scout or whatever. He's been to D.C. last year for Philadelphia. I do think if they hire him, they're probably going to target Kyle Hamilton, Darius Singleton Jr. with the third pick, possibly move down into picking up Sauce Gardner. I like the personnel standpoint. Y'all know I've been talking about those guys for a while, and I've been talking about getting secondary help for years. So I do think if you hire him, that does lean you towards that situation. Now, when it comes to Kevin O'Connell, another name that the Texans talk about who they haven't talked about, who they haven't interviewed yet, partly because he's still coaching the Rams right now, or leading, or going to host the NFC Championship game. He comes from the McVay tree. Now we know what McVay's done. He's been to a Super Bowl, another NFC Championship game. McVay also comes from that Kubiak Shanahan tree, which we know that tree very well because what Kubiak done here in Houston, what Kubiak and Shanahan done in Denver. Mike's Kyle Shanahan is coaching opposite of McVay in this playoffs. Also, they just knocked out Matt LaFleur, who comes from that tree as well. Kyle Shanahan also went to the Super Bowl as well. You also got Zach Taylor, the coach of the Bengals, who comes from the McVay tree. So that McVay, Shanahan, Kubiak tree is a tree I wouldn't mind coming from. I wouldn't mind getting a coach from there. So I'm not really all that down on O'Connell. I'm really not. But my thing is, why are you not interviewing other guys? Why are you not interviewing interviewing the Byron Leftwiches, interviewing the Airbnbs, interviewing the D'Amico Ryans, interviewing the Eberflus? Like, why are you not interviewing these other guys who really deserve jobs? These other guys, Tabo, why are you not interviewing these other guys who, at the very least, deserve They deserve interviews at the very least. I think Byron Leftwich deserves a job. I believe Airbnb deserves a job. I think D'Amico Ryans at the very least deserves an interview. I think Kellen Moore deserves an interview more so than Josh McCown, who doesn't even have any credentials. He hasn't coached. He is not coached, but yet you want to interview him. And even if they, like I said, even if it's the whole, well, maybe they want to give him a staff position. One, I call bull on that, and two, if that is true, one, you're wasting valuable time to interview quality guys, and two, that means you already know who you're gonna hire, and you're basically gonna pick your staff, which means you're hiring another puppet. Again, absurd. It gets worse. Y'all gotta think about this, and we might hate and disagree how he's going about it, but if that's the situation, you gotta kind of understand why Deshaun doesn't want to be part of this mess. Now, we can sit up here and disagree about how he's going about it, or agree that he's going about it incorrectly, take all the field issues. I'm not talking about none of that mess. I'm talking about from a strictly football standpoint. Why would you want to hit your wagon to this if that's the situation that's going on? Like, seriously, I want you to seriously ask yourself, when you have a general manager who wants to be the offensive coordinator and the head coach, but without being the head coach, I want to hire somebody that I can basically tell what to do. I want to be in the... What general manager, it has a headset on game day listening to the plays? You look across the NFL, every general manager, unless the general manager is the head coach and general manager themselves, but every general manager is sitting in the press box with the owner, watching the game in a suit. They ain't got no headset on. They ain't got no windsuit on. Got no headset on in the coach's box looking and calling plays, and ain't no general manager doing that. And you can say, well, they mean he has a better hold on the game. He knows exactly what we need. Y'all can save all that, and y'all can leave all that to the people that's feeding y'all that mess. Y'all really can. The people who spoon feed y'all mess and getting y'all hyped up that that's a good idea. It's not. People need to know their role and play their role. He's the general manager. That's his role is to go out there and get players and go out there and hire a head coach. The head coach, his job is to hire his staff and put his staff in place so he can coach the men on the field. They need to know their roles and know their position. If you hire somebody, why are you doing their job for them? What's the point of hiring them? If you're going to hire a head coach, why do you need to pick his staff? What is he doing? If you hire a head coach, why are you picking the staff? What is he doing? If you picking the staff for him, what are you hiring him for? If you calling timeouts for him, what are you hiring him for? If you calling plays for him, what are you hiring? What is he there to do? To answer questions? That's really you basically hire somebody to answer questions for you. You basically hire a glorified secretary to answer the phone for you. That's really that's what you. That's what the Houston Texans head coaching job position is. It's basically a secretary. The secretary. They answer the phone. Hi, welcome to Houston Texans. How can I help you? That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. That. I get it. I just don't get it. And I understand why a lot of y'all don't get it when y'all want to sit up here and talk about other teams being more dysfunctional than the Texans. No other team is doing this. Name another organization that is doing this. Name another organization that's allowing this. There is none. There's not. It's really not. There's not another organization that's allowing this mess to go on. It's a lot. It really is. It's frustrating. It really is. I've been watching the team since 2002. I want this team to succeed. I want this team to do well. I want championships. I want to be in the conversation. I'm sick of just winning AFC South titles, but at this point, I'd rather have an AFC South title because we don't have nothing. I want to watch Wild Card Weekend and watch Divisional Weekend and watch Championship Weekend and watch Super Bowl Sunday and see my team playing in all those games. Or even not even playing the Wild Card, happen to have a bye and only playing in Division Weekend and Championship Weekend and Super Bowl Weekend. I want to see my team. The great game that we seen out of Buffalo and Kansas City, one of the greatest games I've ever seen before. Great quarterback play. I want my team to be a part of that. I want my team to be a part. Is that so wrong? I want my team to be a part of that, but my team not gonna be a part of it when you got people like this running the show or wanting to run the show. That's you're being handcuffed. You're being strong. You're being that you can't. You're clipping yourself at the knees because you're only hiring from a specific pool. Because I need to hire a guy I can control, a guy who's going to allow me. Because Byron Leftwich, Airbnb, Eberflus, I'm pretty sure even Brian Dable, Ty Bowles, and these other guys, D'Amico Ryans, they not gonna allow Nick Casario or anybody else, A, to hire their coaching staff for them, or B, be in the headset while they coaching the game. Because they're real men. They stand on all 10 toes. Now, I don't know about Kevin O'Connell. I don't know about Jonathan Gann. I don't know how he is. I don't know. They might be the same way. They might stand on their own 10 toes and be like, nah, I hire my own coaching staff. You get out my headset. They might do that. I have no idea. But we already know David Culley was okay with. That's the reason why he got the job. And to me, either Josh McCown is one of those guys that's going to allow him to do that, or somebody else who they're going to hire is going to allow them to do that. I don't even think Josh McDaniels will allow him to do that. I really don't. I don't think Josh McDaniels will allow him to do that. So maybe that's the reason why we don't hear nothing about Josh McDaniels. Now, I still think that, remember, we heard rumblings about all these other guys, and then Nick Casario swooped in the 11 o'clock hour and was able to get the head coaching job. So who knows? Maybe that might be the same situation with this head coaching thing, that Josh McDaniels or somebody who doesn't get an interview just poof, get dropped in, interview, get the head job, boom, it's all done, and it's all for naught. That could be the type of situation that we end up seeing. But if it's going off what people are saying, who are the two lead candidates out of Josh McCown and Jonathan Gaylor, those are the two lead candidates. And I'll say Kevin O'Connell's a guy who's been mentioned a couple times, but I don't think he's even interviewed yet. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's been interviewed yet. But I know his name's been thrown out a lot, and I'm thinking probably the reason why he hasn't been interviewed is because of the whole Rams situation. Still competing and still playing, and potentially, probably, I think they'll beat the 49ers, so I think they'll end up being in the Super Bowl, so you probably won't end up getting a chance to interview him. So I think it's going to be either Josh McCown and the guy from Philly, and either you're going to end up hiring a puppet, or you're going to hire a guy with zero coaching experience at all on any type of level. And again, back to it being absurd. That's absurd itself. One, he doesn't deserve the opportunity yet. Not because I don't think he's going to be a good coach, but he hasn't cut his teeth yet. He hasn't cut his teeth. He hasn't done the groundwork. He hasn't paid his dues as a coach. Why does he get afforded? There's only 32 of these jobs. He's getting gift wrap one just because he knows somebody's it's the whole good old boy thing. Like you basically gift wrap him a position, a job, just because he's able to get one. But he has no experience from any coaching level. Hasn't paid any type of dues, and you got guys who've been paying dues tremendously. D'Amico Ryans is a former Texan, a former Texan, somebody who should be eventually be in the Ring of Honor one day when it comes to Texan, because he's the defensive rookie of the year. He's been to the Pro Bowl a couple times as a Texan, and he's actually doing it with this. He's been coaching for a while, and not to mention as a defensive coordinator, you've seen what the 49ers defense did in the playoffs. So he should get interviewed. I've been hearing about Byron Leftwich for the past couple years. Byron Leftwich has been offensive coordinator, been doing coaching things in Arizona. I think he has stopped in Pittsburgh. He's an offensive coordinator. He's a Super Bowl champion as an offensive coordinator. Him and Eric Bieniemy, both of them are Super Bowl offensive coordinators. Not to mention he's played just like the only thing Josh McCown has is Josh McCown played in the league. He was a backup. Byron Leftwich at the very least was a starter, first round pick, starter, played in the playoff game. I think he has a playoff win if I'm not mistaken. Like he's paid his dues more so in the NFL than Josh McCown, and from a coaching standpoint, not to mention he's a Super Bowl champion as an offensive coordinator. Him and Eric Bieniemy, they are both Super Bowl champions as offensive coordinators. So they deserve jobs 10 times, 100 times more than Josh McCown. Again, back to what I've said: absurd, ridiculous, and that's what the Texans are. Absurd and ridiculous. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, clicked that bell, get more videos. Also, follow me and shout out to all my boys out there in Soft Sports, the Round Table. Hey, y'all watch us. Keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your eyes and ears open. Make sure y'all watch us. Like I say, y'all follow me on social media. Y'all know when we go live, we go live. When we go live, we go live. So y'all got to follow me on social media to know exactly, get them updates when we go live. Hey, keep your eyes and your ears open. I holla.